your hands in the air. It's
Dr. Do, Dr. Do.
Mixing sodas with the beer. It's
Dr. Do, Dr. Do.
So why don't everybody cheer it?
Dr. Do, Dr. Do.
This is the one right here, y'all.
Throw your hands in the air. It's
Dr. Do, Dr. Do.
Mixing sodas with the beer. It's
Dr. Do, Dr. Do.
So why don't everybody cheer it?
Dr. Do, Dr. Do.
This is the one right here, y'all.
You got
What is y'all, your social media platform artist and the host of the great YouTube channel? I'm your host, your one and the only Dr. Dude here, y'all. How are we on this wonderful Saturday morning right here, y'all? Anything new for y'all? Good, because I got you guys something I want you guys to know about. I want to talk about this story right here. A story that with y'all might be interesting, alright? I want to talk about this video, alright? I want to talk about dictator. You guys know what dictator means, right? Those who came into power, who you reign a terror on innocent lives and their own people and not all over the world and stuff. We're going to talk about the specific dictators that escape punishment, alright? These people who have escaped punishment are either cowards or never were, in fact, wanting to lead their own people, or in fact, they don't even care for their own nation struggle right here. This is the video I want to talk to you about right here. These are the specific dictators I want to talk to you guys about, alright? So before we get started, if you guys new to the YouTube channel, please subscribe to the channel, hit notification down below, comment down below what you guys think. We're about to hit 8,000 subscriber, y'all. Please sure to help me with that goal right here, y'all. We are getting closer to 10K over the last 4 years, 4 or 5 years on this channel. Wait. Oh yeah, since 2017 right here, y'all. 8 years making this channel right here, y'all. I appreciate y'all's support of this, alright? Y'all, do you guys want Dr. Do merch? Go to Content Bureau to get you guys Dr. Do merch right here. We got hoodies right here. We got like sweaters, long sleeve shirt, hats like this one right here. Alright, y'all. Y'all, do you guys want Dr. Do? You want something that will give you enough hydration, energy, focus and protein? Go to Beach Chart to give you guys Dr. Do protein power, hydration, energy. We got good stuff right here, y'all. Y'all, a free sample to those who want some Dr. Do, alright? So without further ado, let's get the party started, y'all. Okay, so here's the story that we need to talk about the dictators, alright? Here's the first dictator that which many people always talk about how he managed to go unpunished for. Adolf Hitler. Adolf Hitler was born in the year 1893 in Austria, Hungarian Empire, right? Born to Austrian parents who didn't have no love for him and stuff. And he wanted to be a painter in his future, but however his his painting and his career wasn't going as well. By the time World War I hit, Adolf Hitler joined the German army from 1914 until he got hurt by the gas in the trench warfare, which caused him to leave the army after the war ended. And following after that, around the 1920s, he tried to launch a new political group known as the Nazi Party, or the German Socialist Worker Party, aka the Nazis. Try to make Germany great again, try to make Germany into a big, huge empire in the name of his people and himself. By the time he took power in 1933, he started to do a lot of bad things right here, y'all. Claiming more power for himself, taking rights from men and women, and also try to ensure that other minority would not have the same rights as other German men and women, like for example, like Jews, for example. And he went on to hurt and eliminate those who do not support his ideology. Also called, the one reason why World War II started, when Germany and Hitler launched a blitzkrieg invasion of Poland in September 1st, 1939, taking over half of Poland alongside with their Soviet ally at that time, and then starting invading other land like France, right here, y'all. France, other territory like the other territory around him, alright, y'all, including some parts of Eastern European too, and also following the invasion of the Soviet Union in 1941, which he caused a lot of atrocity all over Europe, taking lives who did not support his ideology and those who were not Germans, and like other minorities like Gypsies, the Slavics, or other minority who do not see them as the true Iranian people, alright? And also following after that, things are not doing great for him, alright? After the Battle of Stalingrad, the turning point of the war in the Eastern Front, and then also in the Battle of Britain, and also in the Atlantic, everything would crumble around him, losing all that territory that he had taken, including losing in the Battle of D-Day right there. Hitler believed that the German army is still strong enough and had more pride and morale against the invaders. But however, he did not realize that all that resources he has it running out, like gas, tank, weaponry right there. And also in his desperate way to prevent he being punished by the UN and the Allies right here, he decided to take his own life right here. To me, Adolf Hitler was a coward, a fool that believes that he and his nation are the superior nation and not the superior race right here. I hate this man for what he done to everybody who around him, including responsible for the deaths of 15 million Jews in a genocide story known as the Holocaust right here, y'all. I feel sad of what he did to them. I feel sorry for the men, women, and children who were brutally murdered, brutally raped, all that thing he did to the people, alright? Including the French people and Italian people who are Italian as well, too, you know. You also treat prisoner of war like animal, too, including ordering them to be executed by a firing squad, gas them, all that stuff. And when in a desperate time, in a desperate thing, in the Battle of Berlin, his cowardness had shown more color of his side, taking his own life, selfishness, and arrogance he rather take, alright? This man rather not to be punished because he knows that what he done was all evil right here. That's why he does not believe in God himself. He was considered atheist and also a traitor to heaven himself right there, you know. Shame on this man. This man should not be remembered in history books and all that. But we do need to remember him for all the things he done to everybody around him. That's why we cannot want history to be erased of what crime he committed right there. Alright? Our next dictator had been in power before Hitler. It was in the 1920s in Russia right here. You know him as Joseph Stalin. Joseph Stalin was a member of the Communist Party in Russia, led by Vladimir Lenin, who they took power in Russia back in 1917, right after the Russians were defeated by the Germans in World War I and signed a treaty with them. Ever since Lenin passed away back in 1920s, alright, Joseph Stalin took power in 1923, caused a lot of changes around him, taking out his own members of his party who did not support his philosophy, his ideology, including those who do not believe that he is following Lenin's way of life or his communist ways. So he decided to create his own communism known as Stalinism, which cleansed every member and not every single person around him. He also making the government control of the people, taking away the freedom of speech, freedom of voting, all that. You think communism is a good idea to be used? No, it does not really help share with each other. He doesn't really think that, alright? If he does believe of sharing it, then he would have not been seen as an atrocity dictator of the Soviet Union, alright? He caused a lot of deaths, famine, and those who do not support his political belief. He also considers those who have political belief are traitor to the people, to the Worker Party, and also those who supported capitalism. That's why he had them all sent to labor camps, or also murder camps, I would call them, gulags, for example. And he had a lot of people dead by this the atrocity he made, including the deaths of millions in Ukraine. That's why Ukraine hate Russia for what they did to them, starved them, being forced to work till they are starving, or even die from diseases right there. They don't care. Joseph never cares about his own people. All he cares about is try to make his revolution permanent into the minds of millions of Russian men, women, and children. Controlling those in the Baltic states, those in the Eastern European front as well. That's why he didn't help the Polish resistance to fight off against the German invaders back in 1944 in the Polish revolts right here. You know, it was tragic to see how many people are being forced into listening to this maniac right here. And you say something about him, he had spies, those like, for example, the NKVD, his secret police officers, and also he had eyes everywhere around his nation, making sure that they obey his law and his leadership right there. But unfortunately, he didn't go punishment. He didn't get punished at all, because back in 1953 he passed away by a stroke. All right, laying on the ground in his own urine. All right, but it's funny. It's a little bit funny that he had a stroke and also having to urinate himself on the ground, laying in it for like all night until his members of his communist party found him. And tragedy for him, he passed away. Following after that, his new leader like Nikita Khrushchev decided to do a de-Stalinization, remove things that Stalin had did to the nation itself. This man had killed over 30 million of his own Russian men, women, and children, including those that were sent to fight against the German. Around 20 million of them. All right, that's like around 50 million under his leadership from 1923 to 1953 right there. And he's still remembered as an iconic leader of the Russian people, including Putin, who admired this man for what he had done in the name of the mother Russia right here. I hate Putin for that. I don't understand why he had to still believe Joseph Stalin as a savior. You also discriminating religion like Christianity, Islam, and Judaism and other religious groups in Russia, which is why he took away religion out of Soviet Union right there. Alright? I don't want nobody's religion to be taken away from. I don't care if you're Islam, Judaism, or Christian. As long as you believe in God, you are continuing the will of Him right there, y'all. Alright? And then we got to another dictator who went the country in Africa, in Uganda from 1971 to 1978. Idi Amin. Idi Amin was a child of, he was born in northern Uganda in a Muslim minority tribal group, alright? Grew up most of his life there, and then he decided to enlist in the British colonial Uganda. He got promoted multiple times due to his brutality against independent resistance fire or those who did not support the Uganda's British colonial. So by the time Uganda became an independent nation, he started to try to get more people, more supporters, supporting his cause, removing the Uganda president at that time in a coup in 1971. At first, people say he was going to be a good leader, considered a gender giant, but he showed his true color of what he's been doing to his own people and those of minority. All right, he removed every Ugandan people in Uganda and removed them and sent them to India, where they never been to India before. And ever since then, his economy went down. He started to use terror against his own people, and also have them watched as their family members or their own children be taken away and to a facility where they torture hundreds of thousands of lives right there, including Christian people, because Idi Amin had backing from dictators like Gaddafi and also other terror group, because he wanted to turn Uganda into an Islamic nation right here, y'all, which it became a big huge controversy to this day, starving people, shooting people, and also he took out the bishop in Africa. Like he wanted representing Ugandan bishop in Africa. He tried to make him to have his forced confession about him arming people and stuff. He never did that. But however, when he didn't get any false confession from him, he decided to take him out, which caused millions of Ugandans to stand up against him. But then in 1978 to 79, he decided to launch his attack on Tanzania for the territory between the river between him and Tanzania. But unfortunately, his military was not as strong as he claimed to be right there, because most of the Ugandan soldiers had no experience of fighting other armed groups before, because they used to harm unarmed civilians. But however, in 1979, Tanzania and the Ugandan people and his own military turned against him and decided to go to war with him, and forced him to be removed from power and exile himself to places like Libya at first, and then Saudi Arabia for the rest of his life. But however, in 2003, he died from heart failure in 2003 while getting punished. He took the lives of over 500,000 people under his reign of terror right there, y'all. We all will not forget what Idi Amin did to the people. Although his nation had not recovered from this to this day right here, y'all. Alright? And then we get to another dictator of the Asian nation of Cambodia, Pol Pot. Pol Pot was a craziest fanatic of the communist lead group known as the Khmer Rouge. Alright? In 1975, when he took power in Cambodia, he forced millions of his own Cambodian men and women and children out of the cities, including the capital of Cambodia right here, into to the east side of Cambodia, where they could have them restart everything from scrap, for them to take off the stuff that are Western items, Western food, medicine, all of that, and try to isolate Cambodia from the rest of the world. Unfortunately, without any supply, any medical stuff from other nations, Cambodia went to a lot of disasters right here, y'all. He had millions of people forced to make food for their own, forced them to be farming, forced them to do whatever he wanted them to do. He also ordered his own people, his own Khmer group, to execute millions of his own civilians falling at that. Alright? You have to look at that, what he did. Alright? He also tried to create a utopia in his idea, his belief. Get rid of those who know history, you're gone. Get rid of those who have political belief, you're gone. Including those with glasses, you are gone. And unfortunately for him, in 1979, the Khmer Rouge were removed from power, including him, from the Vietnamese army in 1979. From 1979 to 1998, he and Khmer Rouge were trying to take back power from the Vietnamese back Cambodia. Alright? But unfortunately, he and his group have been losing more ground, more people, including more ammunition and fundings. Alright? Falling in 1998, his own group betrayed him. He went under house arrest, but he didn't go unpunished. So in 1998, he died of a health concern right there, without getting punished right there. He took the lives of over 2.5 million people under his leadership right there. Pol Pot was delusional of his belief. Delusional that he would make Cambodia into a powerful nation, even though he had a small percentage of people in Cambodia had less resources and less stuff to use in that country. Alright? He didn't think that at all. He didn't get anything from this nation, including those of his allies, because he'd been discriminating minorities like the people from Laos, people from Vietnam, including his own allied groups from China as well. It was tragic to see something he had done right there. Alright, y'all? And then I did a video about Pol Pot. I recommend you go check that out. Alright, y'all? You get what I mean. Alright? And then finally, to one more guy that I want y'all to know about. Bashar al-Assad, the former leader of Syria. This man had been doing things terribly in Syria, causing a lot of havoc, caused a lot of people to leave Syria, and all including being sanctioned by the UN themselves. Because before he took power right after his dad passed away, because his family, the al-Assad family, had been in power of Syria back in 1970. Alright? Ever since his father passed away, everybody thought he was going to be a better man than him. But however, he caused terror, used chemical weapons, caused people to bend their knee to him and his people. He spent more of his money on luxury stuff like cars, food, items that would nobody even want, that the people need, including create statues of his own brothers and his family members to show that we are your master, we are your leaders right here. And then following the 2010 Civil War, he had not done anything for his own people and his own government. Alright, he's been losing power from 2011 till 2024 right here. Alright, y'all. In 2024, he and his family were removed from power by escaping from Syria because all their forces had abandoned, or they didn't have that many forces as they claimed to be. Alright? And you've been seeing like Syrian backed groups that backed by Turkey and US are on the march, forcing al-Assad and his family out of Syria, out of Damascus, and decided to escape to Russia for asylum with Vladimir Putin right there. This man had been nothing but a fool of himself. He never cared about his people. He never cared about his religion at all. He did nothing but terrorize people and have them lose their home, their life, from starvation, disease, and chemical weapons that with al-Assad have been using against his own people right there, y'all. Millions of Syrians died under his rule from 2003 to 2024. Alright? 19 years of ruining the nation right there, man. I don't know why these people, these dictators, think they are big and strong and powerful. Alright? They should know better than what they are trying to do here. Alright? They think that once they're in power, they can do whatever they want. The reason for that, they don't care. Alright? They lie to the people about what they want to do for them at all. Okay? We look at this way, you gotta be careful of who you supporting, who you care for, alright? And what kind of belief they really have, okay? Because if they don't have the belief that you have, they will make you lose that kind of belief right here. If you don't have that kind of political idea like your leader does, you be taken out, alright? Because I felt like people nowadays need to be careful of who they are electing, alright? Alright? Okay? Think about this, alright? In the future, we wanted a better leader who knows about what is happening and what they need to do for their economy, what they need to do for their people, and what kind of thing they need to do in order to make sure that their nation will not crumble at all. But however, those who took power without elections, or those who wanted to take power with blood, don't really care. It shows signs that dictators never had no remorse, no feeling for their own people, but for themselves and their messed up ideology right here, y'all. And there you have the story about dictators that escape punishment right here, y'all. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope y'all have a great day. Please subscribe to the channel, hit notification down below, comment down below, and see what you guys think about my video about the dictators. Alright, y'all. I hope y'all have a great day, and I see you guys next time right here, y'all. Peace out, y'all.